She was worth $200 million. She rode to school on a rusted bicycle, wore last season's sneakers, and let the whole campus believe she was too poor to matter. Because the one thing money couldn't buy was a friend who liked her before they knew her net worth. But the girl who despised her for it? She was worth nothing at all. And she was about to make that the most dangerous secret in the city. Crest Home never slept quietly. Even at 6 a.m., the airport's private terminal buzzed with engines and camera flashes chasing cars they couldn't get close enough to photograph. Out of the third car in a 6-vehicle convoy stepped a girl in scuffed white sneakers and a hoodie 2 sizes too big. No one would have guessed, watching her sling a battered backpack over one shoulder, that she was Naomi Nanji, sole heir to Nanji Continental, one of the largest shipping empires on the continent. Her father, Solomon Nanji, waited at the gate with his arms already open. "Welcome home, Naomi." He pulled her into a hug that smelled like his older cedar cologne. "Ivory Palms Academy is going to be good for you. Just promise me you'll actually make a friend this time, not just study." "I'll try, Dad," she smiled, but she was already thinking about tomorrow. 3 years in an American boarding school had taught her exactly one lesson worth keeping. The moment people learn what you're worth, they stop seeing who you are. So she made a decision in the car on the ride home. No driver, no emblem-stamped luggage, no introducing herself as anything other than Naomi. Just a girl, a backpack, a bicycle. Ivory Palms Academy's gates opened at 7:45 sharp, and the driveway filled with cars that cost more than most people's houses. Naomi pedaled in 15 minutes early, chained her bike to the rack, and smoothed her plain white blouse. 2 girls near the gate clocked her immediately. "Did she seriously ride here?" one whispered, wrinkling her nose. "Scholarship kid, probably," the other said, not bothering to lower her voice. Naomi didn't flinch. Her father's voice lived permanently in the back of her mind. You don't need to prove your worth with things. Your character is your value. She walked past them and found a seat in the back row. 20 minutes later, a blacked-out SUV rolled through the gate like it owned the pavement. The driver rushed around to open the door before the engine had even fully stopped. Out stepped Vanessa Cole, tailored crimson blazer, a bag stitched with a logo half the school could name on sight, heels that clicked out a rhythm like she'd rehearsed the entrance. "That's her," someone breathed. "The Cole heiress. Her family funded the entire science wing." Vanessa heard every word and let it wash over her like sunlight. She never corrected the rumor. She'd stopped bothering 2 months ago, because the rumor was better than the truth, and the truth was a secret she guarded like a loaded weapon. By the second week, Vanessa had found her favorite hobby, making Naomi's life miserable. "Hey, bike girl!" she called down the hallway, loud enough to turn heads. "Did the chain finally snap, or are you just saving up for a bus pass?" A ripple of laughter followed her down the corridor. Naomi stopped, met her eyes calmly, and said only, "Good morning to you too, Vanessa," before walking on. It wasn't enough for Vanessa. Nothing about Naomi's calm was ever enough. It needled her in a way she couldn't explain, so she doubled down, spreading word through her circle that Naomi was a charity case, barely scraping together tuition. Within days, bike girl and scholarship kid followed Naomi everywhere she went. She never let it show on her face, but one person noticed. Daniel Bakare, Top of the football roster, first name on every party guest list, and somehow none of the arrogance that came standard with it, started watching the girl in the back row who never lost her composure, no matter what was thrown at her. When Vanessa mocked her loudly across the cafeteria one afternoon, Danielle finally stood up, walked across the room, and sat down across from Naomi without asking permission first. "Mind if I eat here?" he asked her, ignoring the stunned silence behind him. Vanessa's smile cracked at the edges. She'd wanted Daniel's attention for a year. Watching him hand it to Bike Girl for free lit something ugly in her chest.
Ivory Palms Founders Gala was the one night a year students competed in public generosity as loudly as they competed in everything else. Vanessa had been rehearsing her moment for a week. "I'd like to pledge 5 million to the scholarship fund," she announced from the stage, chin lifted, soaking in the gasp that rolled through the hall. Applause, whispers. Her friends Priscilla and Kelvin nearly fell over themselves with compliments when she sat back down. "Nobody does it like you, Vanessa," Priscilla gushed. Then the headmaster read the next name on the list. Naomi Naji, also pledging 5 million. The hall went dead silent. Head swiveled towards the back row, where Naomi sat with her hands folded, unbothered by the attention she'd spent months avoiding. Vanessa's jaw tightened so hard it ached. She leaned toward Priscilla. "You know how she got that kind of money. I bet Daniel's been helping her." The insinuation spread through the room faster than the applause had. By morning, half the school believed Naomi had traded her dignity for a headline. She held her chin up anyway, but it cost her more than she let anyone see. The truth almost surfaced on an ordinary Tuesday. A modestly dressed woman stood outside the school gate, holding a basket of food, waiting nervously. When Vanessa spotted her, her face went white. "I told you never to come here," she hissed, shoving the basket back into the woman's arms. "I only wanted to bring you something warm, Vanessa. You've been looking thin." "Stop calling me that. Just go, before someone sees you." The woman, her voice fraying, tried to explain how hard she'd worked to get Vanessa into Ivory Palms at all, how much she still sacrificed. Vanessa shoved her. The woman stumbled and fell. Naomi, arriving on her bicycle at that exact moment, dropped it and ran to help before she even registered whose mother it was. "How could you push her?" Naomi demanded, helping the woman to her feet. Cornered, Vanessa spun the only weapon she had left, a lie, aimed straight at Naomi. "Don't act so righteous. Isn't that your mother? Keep her away from decent people." The crowd murmured, uncertain who to believe. Naomi didn't dignify it with anger. "My mother would never be treated that way, because I respect her. What's your excuse?" Vanessa had no answer. She turned and walked away before anyone could ask the question that was starting to form on every face around her. Desperate to reclaim her image, Vanessa hatched her boldest lie yet. She convinced her mother, who worked unknown to anyone at Ivory Palms as the housekeeper for the Naji family's second residence, to let her throw a party there while the family was away. "If Mr. Naji finds out, I could lose everything," her mother warned. "He won't find out. It's one night," Vanessa promised, already picturing her classmates' faces when they saw the marble staircase, the private cinema, the wine cellar she'd claim as her birthright. The party started perfectly. Vanessa gave the grand tour like she'd lived there her whole life. Then, a member of the household staff, unaware any event had been authorized, placed a quiet phone call. An hour later, the doors opened and Naomi walked in beside her father. The room went silent as the truth rearranged itself in real time. Wait, Naji? That's Naomi's house. She's the real heiress. We've been fooled the whole time. Vanessa fled into the night before anyone could speak to her, her manufactured world collapsing behind her in real-time gossip she could no longer control.
The consequences came fast. Solomon Naji, learning the full scope of what his daughter had endured in silence, made one phone call to the school board. Vanessa's scholarship, one her mother had begged for, was revoked within the week. Expulsion followed almost immediately. She turned to the only people she thought she could count on. "We don't associate with liars," Priscilla told her flatly outside a coffee shop, not bothering to look up from her phone. "You embarrassed us," Kelvin added. "We're done." Alone, humiliated, and furious, Vanessa found someone new to blame. Naomi. Why does she get everything and I get nothing? That fury cuddled into something far darker than jealousy. A boy named Marcus, who'd spent weeks pretending to be old money to win Vanessa's approval, only to have his own lie collapse the same week hers did, became her final desperate tool. "I need your help," she told him, voice syrup sweet. "I want to teach Naomi a lesson. Just scare her, that's all." It wasn't all. Marcus lured Naomi from a late library session, and within the hour she was left abandoned in a freight warehouse on the edge of the industrial district, Vanessa pacing in front of her like a storm that hadn't decided where to land. "You think you're better than me," Vanessa spat. "Let's see how perfect you are now." "My father will find me," Naomi said. "You won't get away with this." "Do it," Vanessa ordered Marcus. "Show her what powerless feels like." But Marcus, guilt finally outweighing infatuation, refused. "I said I'd help you scare her, not this. I won't." Vanessa's control shattered along with her plan. She grabbed her phone, dialing for backup, and that was the exact moment the warehouse door was kicked open. Daniel stood in the frame, flanked by two of the Naji family's security team, his face carved from fury. "Step away from her, Vanessa. It's over." Vanessa lost everything the lie had bought her. The scholarship, the school, the friends who'd only ever loved the version of her that didn't exist. What remained was a girl finally forced to sit with the truth she'd spent a year running from. Naomi lost nothing but her disguise. If anything, she gained something she'd been quietly hoping for since the day she got off that plane. People who liked her before they knew what she was worth. Weeks later, walking through the campus gardens with Danielle at her side, she finally said the thing she'd been circling for months. "You know," she said, "you are the first person here who didn't care what my last name was." Danielle smiled. "Turns out that was the only thing worth knowing about you anyway." Neither of them said the word love. They didn't need to. Some things you just let grow at their own pace. The same way trust does, when it's finally built on something real.